Hello, I am CJ Lowry. I am Liz Lowry's, I'm guessing, your speaker, her oldest son. I am 29 years old, and I'll tell you a little bit more about me later when we get into that. So my mom asked me to make a quick video to let you know, maybe coming from a divorced family, the struggles and point of view from the child's point of view. So I got a few notes here, so when I look down, that's what I'm looking at. Number one, I think as a parent, I think you have to understand that you shouldn't feel guilty. I've never wanted my mom to feel guilty. I've never wanted my father to feel guilty. And you shouldn't feel guilty. Life has a way of working out where you go through hard times, and if you don't go through hard times, they're knocking at your doorstep down the road. So you can just see it as you're doing your kids a favor that they got to go through some of them early on. I would tell you as a parent, though, of a divorced child, you can't make excuses for yourself, and you can't make excuses for your child. You owe it to that child to work your job, to come home, to have dinner as a family, to look at their homework, to be at their games, to coach them in sports. I'll tell you, my mom coached me in every sport she could, and she was the only female coach, and pardon the cussing, but we were damn good. All of my friends wanted their kids on my mom's team, and that was because she was tough. And she was the toughest on me, and you need to be the toughest on your kids. You can't go up to the school or telling their coaches, oh, they have a divorced family, I need you to work with them more. That doesn't work. That's called an excuse, and if you teach them to make excuses, they'll make them the rest of your life. So I can tell you that coming from a divorced family, I've learned not to make excuses. You get it done. Struggles have made me stronger, and they'll make you and your children stronger just the same. They've brought my family closer together, even though some days were very difficult. I will tell you just a few quick points. I think all kids need to see a loving relationship. So if you're going to date, you better make sure that who you introduce your kids to is someone that you would want them to see long term. I don't think that if you're a female, any man does not need to meet your kids till probably at least 6 months to a year. I'd be very, very careful on that, especially while they're young. And if you are a man, you don't need to just go find them a mom. You need to be very careful on that. I'll tell you another quick thing that I really always struggled with, especially as the oldest, is don't make them choose whose house they need to go to over Christmas or Thanksgiving or spend with their birthday. Christmas is just the 25th of December. It can be celebrated the 23rd. It can be celebrated the 1st of January. But when you tell them, oh, I won't pressure you, and then you pressure them, it makes them feel guilty. And you don't need to do that to a child. They don't need that guilt. Remember, your child did not get divorced. You did. So don't put that pressure on them. And I'm not saying that to knock anybody, but that happens, and it may not be something you think of. Again, no matter what struggle is, they'll be fine, and I'll tell you that in a little bit. I'll give more of that. Remember that if you are a single mom, your boys and your girls need role models. So if you're a single mom, your boys need a male role model. So does your daughter. If you're a man, they need role models on the opposite sex of you as well. You can't be a mom and a dad, even though you may try to be some of those roles. It is very important for them to find mentors, whether they're at church, whether they're at school, friends of parents that are willing to take them and do things. But they do need role models from both sexes. Remember, moms, I like to put this little plug in. Boys are going to make fun of you. Boys make fun of people they love and people that are friends. That's why boys give each other a hard time. So don't get mad or frustrated whenever you have a boy and he's giving you a hard time, like my mom does with all 3 boys. We make fun of her because we love her, and she gets to make fun of us back. And she couldn't do that to girls probably quite as much. But always remember that you'll have a good yard. If you have kids, you need to work them. You shouldn't be paying to mow your yard. You should have the best yard in the freaking city, as my mom. Coach them in everything. Like I said, coach them on as many things as you can. If you're not great at sports, coach them in music, coach them in art, coach them in anything that you can be a part of their lives. You need to, and that's that no excuses on your part as well. Set high expectations. Who cares if you're divorced? They still need to make A's and not many B's. Because you need to send them to college. If you didn't go to college and you're a single mom, there's scholarships out there, but they got to have good grades. There's no excuses for anything in life, and no one's going to listen to them when they get a job, just like no one cares that you're divorced when they hire you. No one's going to care that they come from a divorced family. But that leads me into use your story, because your kids are going to get to use theirs one day. Use your story to help others. I can tell you right now, My mom's 3 boys are all very successful because we use our stories. I can tell you personally, I'm an assistant principal. My mom raised us with no excuses, and she now has me. I was the youngest assistant principal in the state of Texas at age 25 when I got hired, and now I'm 29. And I use my story all the time with children that come to my office, and I don't let them use excuses. I even use it with parents. My older brother, Mitchell, if he didn't introduce himself, he is a very successful engineer. He was valedictorian of not only his high school class, not only his bachelor's program in electrical engineering at Tech, but then he was also #1 in his class and 98th percentile in the country when he graduated with his MBA. So he's a pretty intelligent guy too. And then Trey, if you look at the shirt on your back, he could probably convince you to give it to him, and then he'd sell it back for you for twice whatever you paid for it originally. So he's got that talent too, and then he also serves you in the military. So my mom has 3 successful boys because she didn't allow us to make excuses, and she never made excuses for herself and held us to high expectations. But remember that no one comes from a white picket fence. Everyone has dents and bruises in their yard. I will tell you, my mom probably would have had a white picket fence had she asked us to build her one, and we were pretty good at that stuff, so it worked out. But just remember, no family. Don't look at the families and say, "Oh, we don't have a big family Christmas," or I can't afford a nicer car or anything like that. Don't make excuses for it, because I guarantee you there's some stuff in their life you wouldn't want to experience as well. And if you don't believe that, go ask some of them. So anyways, love your kids. Work hard, teach them Jesus, and you should be good to go, and so are your kids. My information, my mom can share it with you, my email, my phone number. I'm on Twitter, anything like that if you want to connect. I'm more than happy to speak with you or your children at any time. Hope you have a blessed day, and hope this video helps out.